going on?
Not much, just walking around.
Videotaping the police department's not a good idea.
Why? You guys are friendly people.
We are, but why are we doing this?
Why wouldn't we?
Because it's a security issue for us.
Is it?
It is.
I don't think so.
It is.
It's public property.
It is public property, but when you start recording our perimeter and our gates and what our activities are, it's a concern to us.
I've only been here for about 15 minutes.
Right. We had officers that drove by and saw you pulling out of here, walking out of here, and said that you were recording them as they left.
I did.
Yeah, and that's an issue. Why are we doing that?
I don't have to have a reason.
Via the YouTube channel Rowdy Podcast, Officer Hines here is about to encounter a citizen who knows his rights.
Do you have a driver's license I can see?
I don't.
What is your name?
I'm not going to give that to you.
You're not going to give it to me?
No. Why would I give it to you? I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, you're recording our property, you're recording our building,
Sure.
and it's a security issue for us.
Am I being detained?
You are.
Okay.
Until I can get you identified.
And what's your reasonable,
because I want to make sure that you're
articulable
not doing
suspicion?
something that's a problem for our law enforcement community.
So in order to detain somebody, you have to have a law that you're investigating, correct? So which law are you? What law do you suspect me of breaking?
Are you looking to create a problem here?
Because you see, when a citizen knows what the hell they're doing, an officer sometimes just doesn't know how to react.
Why would I need to identify myself?
Because I'm asking you to identify yourself.
What's your name and badge number?
My name is Todd Hines. My badge number is 200.
Okay. Your name and badge
We're
number?
recording you just like you're recording
Good.
us.
Yeah, like 216.
Okay, good.
So,
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd like to be on my way to go. I mean, you have to have
so are you
reasonable...
refusing to identify yourself?
Well, there's no need to.
3916. Can we get
Are you a
something
supervisor?
in?
Okay. You just called for a supervisor?
I did.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet.
I don't have any ill will. I'm not here to hurt anybody.
So
I'm
what's
not
the problem
armed.
with identifying yourself?
I don't need to.
You don't need to.
No, it's my right to not.
Oh, so you're looking to create problems is what you're doing.
No, you're just accusing me of that.
Absolutely, because you're refusing to identify yourself.
That's not against the law.
It's obstructing legal process if we have a reason to ask you.
What's your reason? I've
To
asked you that.
identify you. I just told you.
No, but I asked
You're
you.
recording our property.
I have to
you're
identify
recording what we're
myself.
doing,
Correct. And I have
and
to
I asked you
identify
to
myself
yourself.
if you have
And you're
a
refusing.
reasonable,
I do.
articulable suspicion. And what is that?
You're looking to create problems, is what you're doing.
Is that what I'm doing? By just
that's
filming
my
and
opinion.
exercising my First Amendment rights?
That is my opinion, yes.
Okay. Well, the good thing is the law doesn't go off your opinion.
Exactly. To reiterate, Rowdy said, good thing the law doesn't go off your opinion.
So what's the problem with identifying yourself?
I just
You
don't.
don't have to.
I just don't need to.
You don't need to.
Yeah, I haven't broken any laws, and you just said you.
Nope, nobody said you broke any laws. I just said that your activity is suspicious to us. It's
Okay,
a
and is that a
concern for our-
misdemeanor or a felony?
Great rebuttal. Actually, it's flat out brilliant.
Like I said, you're not
Sergeant
accusing me
Beretta.
of anything, which I get, and I appreciate you saying that. But that even more so just says that I don't have to identify myself. It's my First Amendment to film public officials doing what they do.
We'll see what the sergeant
Sure.
has to say here when he gets here. This gentleman's got a First Amendment right, he says, to videotape our activities around the police department, and he's refusing to identify himself so that we know who we're dealing with.
Okay, you don't want to identify yourself?
Well, I don't need to. He said he doesn't suspect me of a crime or anything, and I'm
Okay,
just...
I'm just asking.
No, but no, sir, I
I'm
don't.
just asking. Okay, we're good. Let's go.
Okay.
Have a nice
My
day.
name's John, by the way. Thanks. Take care, guys.
Cooperation, American.
What's that?
Thanks for your cooperation.
Sergeant, what was your name and badge number?
Sergeant Data badge number 239.
Thank you, sir.
And that is how it's done. In a piece for The Atlantic, Robinson Mayer spoke with a 21-year member of a police department. This is their exact quote. As a basic principle, we can't tell you to stop recording, says Delroy Burton, chairman of DC's Metropolitan Police Union. If you're standing across the street videotaping and I'm in a public place carrying out my public functions, then I'm subject to recording, and there's nothing legally the police officer can do to stop you from recording. Jay Stanley, a senior policy analyst at the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, also spoke on the subject. Photography is a form of power, and people are loath to give up power, including police officers. It's a power struggle where the citizen is protected by the law, but But because it is a power struggle, sometimes that's not enough. Stanley wrote the ACLU's Know Your Rights Guide for Photographers, which we have often cited in our pieces, which lays out in plain language the legal protections that are assured people filming in public. Among these, photographers can take pictures of anything in plain view from public space, including public officials, but private landowners may set rules for photography on their property. Cops also can't confiscate or demand to view audio or video without a warrant, and they can't ever delete images. In the majority of situations, an officer is just trying to intimidate you and stop your reporting. Once you make it clear to the officer that you do know what your rights are and that you don't intend to be intimidated, I think in the vast majority of situations, the officer will back down, he says. Always remember, and what Rowdy told Officer Hines a few times in the previous video. Let's harken back to what the ACLU wrote previously. What do I do if I am stopped or detained for taking photographs? The answer is this. Always remain calm. Never physically resist a police officer. Police cannot detain you without reasonable suspicion that you have or are about to commit a crime or are in the process of doing so. This is what Rowdy told Officer Hines a few times. It's a constant reminder that should be played back over and over if you happen to get in this situation. If you are stopped, ask the officer if you're free to leave. If the answer is yes, calmly walk away. If you're detained, ask the officer what crime you are suspected of committing and remind the officer that taking photos is your right under the First Amendment and does not constitute reasonable suspicion of criminal activity.